Life Alliance asked if we would host a reunion between a heart recipient and the donor family. And I'm going to tell you right now, for me, besides the birth of my children, to see the look on a mom's face when she hears a familiar sound that she thought she'd never hear again by putting that stethoscope to a stranger's chest, that was the most impactful moment of my life. Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Kraft, your St. Lucie County tax collector. Join us today as we take a peek behind the counter. And this month, we're going to talk about National Donate Life Month. Right now, currently, there are over 100,000 people waiting for an organ. And that's the importance of Donate Life Month, trying to bring more attention to that and bring people's awareness. So to help us along with this conversation today, we have Trina Long. Trina, how are you?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today and helping us bring awareness to this very worthy cause. Tell us a little bit about the job that you do and the importance of it.
Yes, so I work for Legacy Donor Services Foundation, and that is this area's tissue bank.
So how is that relationship with Life Alliance?
Okay, Life Alliance is the OPO, that's the organ procurement organization. So in this area, there are 3 organizations that facilitate donation. So Life Alliance Organ Recovery is that, it's for organ recovery. And I work for Legacy Donor Services Foundation, the tissue bank. And then there's Beauty of Sight, which is the eye bank.
Wonderful. And with what is your role with the nonprofit?
Yes. So I am working with hospital development. My title, if you want to call it that, is a regional program manager. And what that means is that I go through St. Lucie County hospitals and hospitals in Palm Beach County, and I provide education to the nurses.
And with that, it's just the importance of it, or is it a part of the role that they're playing?
It is part of their role, like the protocol of, at the time of someone's death, what do you need to do? So I just educate them on that aspect of it.
And have you been there when they've done, I forget what they call it, my wife's a nurse, and when the honor walk, I think
The honor walk, yes. I have attended a few honor walks, and it is a very solemn, but also a time of respect for those individuals and the families that have made that decision where they are giving someone else a chance at life.
Yeah, it's my wife, after attending the very first one, she was quite touched when she came home. And I've been involved with donation now for, with the office, because we register the #1 registrant of organ donors at the tax collector's offices. And she came home and shared that story with me. That's one side that I had no idea about. So I was fascinated. And she said that the respect that was paid not only to the patient and the donor, but to the families it was breathtaking. So it was good stuff. Tell us a little bit about your story. How did you get involved with organ donation? Well,
I became involved after my son became a donor. October 14, 2019, a gentleman failed to yield a right-of-way at a traffic light. And I had no education really on donation, what it meant. My son Logan was a registered donor, meaning that he, at the DMV, said yes when asked if he wanted to be a donor when he got his license. And that came about at the age of 16. He had lost sight in one of his eyes because of a paintball injury, which required a cornea transplant. And through that, he learned that a 70-year-old is the donor that restored his sight. And for that gratitude of that gift of sight, he decided, yes, that he wanted to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor. And then at the age of 30 is when his accident happened. But after his accident and after trying to find my purpose after the fact, I realized I wanted to volunteer. I wanted to volunteer for the organization that was able to grant my son's wish. And through that, I volunteered for a couple of years, speaking opportunities, going to events, just bringing awareness to this topic that nobody wants to talk about.
You spoke at our event pretty early in that process then.
I did. I was one of those that I've got to go in and go head strong. for me, that was part of my healing, and the search for my purpose. So not everybody, that's not for everybody, especially so early on. But for me, that was what comforted me. And so then that volunteering led to a job in a field that doesn't feel like a job. It's just bringing awareness and letting people know how important it is, not only to make the decision, but to share your decision with your family. So that's very important.
And have you had the opportunity to meet any of his recipients?
No, I have not. It is very seldom for eye and tissue donation to meet the recipient. That is more so on the organ side. Yes.
Now, for me, we've hosted here a couple of times because we have Christian's Tree of Life in 2 of our offices. We allow anytime anyone registers to be an organ donor, we'll give them a butterfly, a leaf, or something like that, and they can put it on the tree. They can put a little note on it. And Life Alliance asked if we would host a reunion between a heart recipient and the donor family. And I'm going to tell you right now, for me, besides the birth of my children, to see the look on a mom's face when she hears a familiar sound that she thought she'd never hear again by putting that stethoscope to a stranger's chest, that was the most impactful moment of my life, besides the birth of my kids. So it's a really important cause. And, what is it, 5, 6, 7 lives that are saved from organ donation, and how many with tissue? It's
it's so like with organ, there's 8 organs that can provide life-saving for a recipient, and for tissue, it varies. On the average, it's probably about 75 people that one donor can impact. With my son's gifts through his eye and tissue donation, he was able to improve the lives of 543 people.
Wow. And there's more of a chance of a pairing with the tissue than there is in the organs, correct? There's more things that have to be checked off the list, size and blood type and stuff like that.
Well, with tissue, there's no blood matching. It doesn't go through that process because actually there's no blood involved. So that's why there's not a match required for eye or tissue donation.
And what kind of patients are receiving tissue?
Well, burn patients.
Okay.
Yes, and they use skin for burn patients and for reconstruction after mastectomy. They use bones, and it's just the way they process it in different ways is why it's used in various forms. Many people have heard of, it's very popular, a dental implant. So that's made possible because of a bone graft from a donor. And I know that they've been able to replace jawbones with a rib because the rib and the jawbone mirror the contour of each other. Many athletes suffer from a torn ACL, which a donor tendon repairs that. So there's just many ways that tissues are used to improve life.
It's mind-blowing to me. I learned, like I said, I've been involved with this now for 12 years, and I learned something new every time I talk to you, and we talk often. So we always look forward to April 1st. We just celebrated April Fool's Day together yet again. At 5 a.m. right here in the office. So with, was it Channel 5?
Yes. T.A. Walker.
Yeah, he did
shining a light.
Did a great job. I'm going to tell you, there aren't many people that I wake up that early for. You're one of them. So I'm blessed. We have a good time with it, and also you follow that up with a little bit about the Mets, their relationship and partnership with you guys.
Yes. So this past April 5th was our 4th annual Make the Save a Life, and that's an event where we honor donor heroes. The families are able to come out. We have sponsors that provide tickets for the families, so there's no cost to the families to attend. We were able to honor 35 donor heroes this past April the 5th, and it was represented by like 342 family members.
Oh, wow.
That attended that. So it was just a beautiful way to have them honor their heroes for their gifts, but also they can see that they're not alone. That all those people that they were looking at were going through similar things that they had and the heroes that were there.
And I was unable to attend this year, but I was there last year. And you may think that it's going to be a solemn event, but it's not. It's really a celebration. And
Yes.
the smiles on all these faces when they come together, because it's really letting them know that they have a community of support. They're not going through this alone. Others have gone through a similar, situation, and you're going to make it through.
Yes. And that's hard to realize that you're going to make it through at the beginning. I just remember that you feel isolated in a crowd. I mean, it's just hard. It's hard to describe. It's hard to convey exactly what it's like. I was fortunate, our family was fortunate in January of 2022 that we were able to go to the Rose Parade. So Legacy Donor Services Foundation sponsored Logan's fluorograph, and that's like an image of his face done with natural materials, flowers, seeds, whatever. And so his image was on the Donate Life float in Pasadena, California. And so we had the opportunity to go and watch his image along with 34 others go down the road on that float. And the relationships that I formed there with other donor moms that understood what I was going through. And to this day, we are still very close, and we are in contact, not on a daily basis, but at least every other day. We've made contact with each other. And after that experience, that's where the idea for Make the Save, Save a Life came from. I wanted people in my hometown to have a place that they could go and have that camaraderie or have that experience of knowing they're not alone. So that's how it first originally came about.
That's wonderful. Tell me a little bit about Logan. I don't know if I've ever asked about him personally. I mean, what kind of work did he do? Where did he go to school?
Yes. So Logan, he went to Centennial and Central High School. He worked at Arrigo on US 1. He was leaving work.
What year was he born?
He was born in 88.
88, okay.
He was 30 years old when he passed. He was a proud daddy to 2 boys. And he loved hunting and fishing. He was the kindest, I tell people he was the kindest, gentlest man you would ever meet. And then it's like, okay, so you're going to think I'm biased. So actually, I asked some of his friends, and some of the descriptions they gave me of him is like, oh, he would give you the shirt off his back. Oh. And one friend shared, they were at a restaurant and he would just randomly pay for somebody else's meal. That's awesome. Without them knowing, but he was such a giving person. He was that person you could call no matter the time of day if you needed anything. And it's just like, what, sometimes I have questioned in the past, why do the good ones have to go? Right. Because he was good.
But did he continue to play paintball after his accident?
To my knowledge, no.
Mom put her foot down. No, you're done, kid.
To my knowledge, no. But you never know. He was 16.
Yeah, we were all dumb at that age. At least us boys were dumb at that age, I can promise you.
Yeah.
Trina, is there anything else you want to share with us today?
I don't know. I just appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share my life, a portion of it. That means so much to me. I was talking to a donor mom and sister today, and it's just important to be able to have an opportunity to speak their name, that people don't forget. He may not be here, but he will always have an impact as long as I'm around.
Well, and it's good too, because, there's so many myths out there when it comes to donation. And, for him at a young age, he made that decision young to put organ donor on his driver license. I mean, he was a benefactor from donation, but from a young age to get it and not allow those myths to get in his way. And that's all they are. It's nonsense.
Well, yes. And a lot of people, watch TV. It's a form of entertainment. And sometimes you kind of lose that line of reality and, okay, this is TV, this is Hollywood that's putting this out here. So, they are not going to let you pass away to recover organs. They are not going to do that.
And specifically, they need to keep your body pumping as long as they can, because there's a whole process that goes into finding the recipients. The size, the blood type, the proximity of the recipient to where the donor is. All of those things have to be taken into account. They can't, and I don't want to sound grim, but they can't just keep your heart on ice for all that time. They got to keep blood moving through.
Well, they only have 4 hours for a heart transplant. From the time of recovery to the time it's transplanted, there's only 4-hour window for a heart.
Yeah, so it's I ask the public, please educate yourself on donation. We're going to continue to do our job here at the St. Louis County Tax Collector's Office and ask people on a daily basis if they would like to give the gift of life. And we'd love, especially in the month of April, if you are not yet registered, go to, donatelifeflorida.org. I got it right this time.
Yes.
I kept messing it up. Go to donatelifeflorida.org and register today or any day. It's 24/7, 365. It's not an issue. Do your research. You have any questions, the answers are right there on that website. They can answer all those questions for you. But we want to thank you. I want to thank you for joining me today for this opportunity. And I want to thank the public for tuning in. So until then, next time we go behind the counter here at the St. Louis County Tax Collector, have a wonderful day.